Hi and welcome back. Today we're talking about body types and jewelry. This is very loosely based on David Kibe's theory of body types, but because he was a stylist, his theory is more geared towards total makeover, everything from head to toe. And because we are only talking about jewelry here, we have only 7 categories as opposed to 15, and they're named a little differently. I named them after what I thought made more sense for jewelry. So let's get into it because there's a lot of information to cover in only 10 minutes. We have 2 categories for tall women, 2 categories for average, and 3 categories for petite. Hopefully this will help. It's not meant to be taken very seriously. You can wear whatever you like. This is just a general guide, and I'm just hoping it will help someone who was maybe wondering why a certain type of jewelry never looked right on them. It just wasn't a perfect fit, even though you might like the piece. Okay, so that's that, and let's jump into it. First, we have the supermodel. These women are generally tall. When I say tall, I don't mean a specific number, and that's true for every category. I mean they give off the impression that they're tall. So what you should be asking yourself is what you look like, what people generally consider you. Would they consider you petite? Do they consider you tall or average? So supermodels, tall, lean, muscular, very sharp bones, sharp jawline, sharp features, hardly any curves or rounded features. Think, when it comes to jewelry, geometric shapes, high polish silver, high polish gold, anything that looks like a piece of art from a gallery, but at the same time very avant-garde, very modern. Beautiful cuffs look great on them. Are decent in size, so medium to large, because they are generally very striking, majestic women, so the jewelry needs to reflect that, and otherwise it will be just lost on them. Next we have the dramatics. In bone structure, they're much more blunt, rounded, definitely a larger frame, and the beauty of these ladies is they can pull off anything, and I mean absolutely anything. The more the better. They can have the earrings, the statement necklace, the cuff, and the cocktail ring all at the same time, work in perfect harmony, and it's not gonna look too much. At the same time, they can also pull off a full face of makeup, eyelash extensions, hair extensions. They can look really glamorous, and it's not gonna overwhelm them. Costume jewelry looks great on them, colorful pieces, Baroque style jewelry, because the more the better. Next we have the naturals. Naturals are generally average in size, and the difference between the supermodel, tall, and average natural is really, aside from the height, is the sharpness of the bones. So it's a little less sharp, it's a little more maybe on the blunt side, definitely not rounded though. Not much when it comes to curves. It's really straight lines, still sharp bone structure, usually sharp facial features. It is my favorite category because I belong to that category, and most of my jewelry that I make is in this category because I just naturally gravitate towards that style. And when it comes to jewelry, anything that looks earthy is perfect. So hammered texture, bronze, gold, wood, anything that gives off the earthy vibe. Ethnic jewelry looks amazing. Turquoise jewelry. One thing that I would say is sparkly things, so diamonds and other faceted stones. It's very tricky to make it work. You could use stones that at least in color are earthy, so say yellowish or brownish, or maybe a deep red like a garnet. But other than that, when it comes to diamonds, it can get overwhelming very quickly. So I would reserve the use of faceted stones and just sparkly jewelry for evening. Size-wise, jewelry should be medium, so not too large because it will overwhelm, but also not too little because it will just get lost, because naturals still have pretty expressed features, and the jewelry should reflect that. Next we have the classics. Classics are the beautiful women who have just the perfect symmetrical features. The old Hollywood actresses, Grace Kelly is the classic example. They are just a picture of perfection, really. When it comes to the body, they are very balanced out. Face is very symmetrical as it can get, really. And so the jewelry should reflect that. Symmetrical pieces, which is usually the classic pieces, so pearl earrings, diamond studs, it just looks amazing on them because it really highlights and complements the symmetry they have going on, both on their face and their body. Slightly dangly earrings, like Kate Middleton wears those all the time. Anything that looks regal is really made for them. Nothing overwhelming. Next we have the petites, and the first within petites is the boyish petite, which would be somebody who is small in frame, so petite, however has a body similar to a supermodel, so very straight lines, no curves. These ladies are very similar in jewelry to the supermodels, but there is one very big difference, and that's the size of the jewelry. So while the supermodels can pull off huge geometric pieces, the boyish petites should stick with something that's more dainty on the smaller side, however still sharp, angular, geometric. Anything Scandinavian styled minimalist jewelry looks amazing on them. Silver, gold, not much when it comes to color, nothing that's elaborate, you know, Art Nouveau-ish lines, that doesn't really go with them. They look amazing in simplistic, toned down jewelry. Next we have, within the petite category, we have romantics. So these ladies are petite and as curvy as can be. Kim Kardashian or Marilyn Monroe. So think somebody who looks like they were born wearing red lipstick and a fur coat. Something that's just over the top glamorous, always looking their best. They look amazing in diamonds, something womanly, sparkly, rounded shapes, Art Nouveau style. Looks amazing because they reflects their bodies. It has to be done in a way where it doesn't overwhelm them because they are still petite. Last but not least, in the petite category, we have the girlish petites. So that would be somebody who always looks younger than their age. That might be because of their bodies or might be because of their faces. They might have very doll-like features, say a button nose, large eyes, a larger forehead, so they kind of look like a doll. When it comes to jewelry, something playful, girly looks amazing on heart-shaped jewelry. Colored beads look amazing, delicate floral designs. To sum it all up, I wanted to include a quick commentary on Meghan Markle because she is a perfect example of what it looks like when somebody is dressed and accessorized in their element versus when it feels a bit off styling-wise. Here we have Meghan, bone structure blunt with sharp elements, average in height, face slightly asymmetrical, so according to our categories, she is a clear natural, and her personal styling reflects that immaculately. I'm going to assume she styled herself in these photos, and what we can see is lots of natural colors and textures and fabrics, so linen, cotton, cashmere, denim. As far as jewelry goes, she usually chooses natural textures like leather, hammered gold, asymmetrical shapes like these bangles and the leaf earrings she has on, and all that is in harmony with her natural self. Here we have the same Meghan, styled probably for a royal function, so in a style that is best suited for a classic. We have symmetrical floral design stud earrings, stiff fabrics, dusty colors, and while she still looks beautiful, it looks ever so slightly mismatched, like it belongs to a different person. I hope this was helpful, and remember, there are lots of facets to every person, and none of this is exact science, but more of a light-hearted observation, because there is really nothing serious about jewelry or any other accessory, unless it's a house arrest ankle bracelet. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.